ago, Milton Friedman was an advisor to Richard Nixon, and Nixon couldn't take Milton Friedman's shock doctrine to America so soon after the Great Society. And we all know what happened to Chile because of Milton Friedman's
79.
But what they did was that they took parts of Milton Friedman's idea and they turned Alaska Natives into corporations. And so what happened is that the corporate Indians have now replaced the traditional voices, and the land is owned by corporations.
Wow.
So for the past 40 years, what has happened is that like when they have these meetings and the corporate people sit on stage and during an open forum, like about 4 years ago, what would happen would be like the 99% that live in poverty would come up and they would say, listen, I have 4 kids, I have a family, but I have no home. And they would all look uncomfortable. So they stopped doing the open forums at the Alaska Federation of Native meetings.
But what you're saying is the Alaska Federation is now a corporation?
It's mainly just a voice of the...
right. And so the tribal lands don't belong to the tribes?
It belongs to
the Federation, to the corporation.
It belongs to the corporation. Yeah. And what has happened was like last month, the corporations now want to be recognized as the official voice over the traditional voices.
Yeah.
So we're about to find out, does the traditional voices, Alaska Native American Indian, do they still have a place in this democracy? Or will it be the corporate Indians that will take everything over? And we know where they come from.
Yeah.
They're for profit.
So is your base in Alaska?
My base is in both places, here in New York City.
And Alaska.
As well as Alaska.
Wow.
Yeah.
So many issues converging here, right?
It is. This is a microcosm of America.
Right here.
You have American Indians here, you have like every nationality here. And that's what makes America, I think, great. It's like the different cultures.
Have you learned stuff being here that you didn't know before?
What I've learned was that how much we have in common with each other. Mm-hmm. Like whether I speak to an Afro-American and I talk to him about what's going on here in the States, what's going on up with Alaska Natives or American Indians, whether it's the high suicide rates, whether it's the escaping through drugs and alcohol. And he ended up telling me, Lily, who's Inuit Eskimo that's here too, he ended up saying, man, I thought you guys were talking about us Afro-Americans too.
Right.
Ended up learning a lot. What I'm learning, which is more surprising, is that all of a sudden it's not just an Afro-American, American Indian, or Hispanic issue, or people of color issue. It's everyone.
It's 99%.
It's 99%.
Yeah.
The way Wall Street at one time separated the original indigenous people from the first European colonizers, settlers. Now it separates America, the 99% of everyone, from that 1% that controls everything.
Yeah, and how many different countries in terms of people have you been talking to?
I've been talking to what's amazing, the French, the English, the Germans, the Italians. You'd be amazed. Eastern Bloc countries.
They're all coming
Russia,
here.
And you're not in Africa, and not only them, but you're talking about people from Asia, South America. It's amazing.
And people are taking it home with them.
They take it home, they tell their families, also their media comes here, so the message spreading all over the place.